All right, so I got a fucking question for you, right? Where did hip hop lose its poverty roots and everybody became all of a sudden like bougie and shit? Like, I don't get it. Like, ain't there still kids in the ghetto? Like, I know I went by the project not too long ago when I was back in New York, and I could have swore there was still black and Spanish kids over there. Am I confused? Because the way I see people, now listen, it's nothing wrong with having dignity. I want everyone to have dignity, and I never want anybody to take that away from you. All right, that's ridiculous. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is you have a bunch of kids nowadays that are running around acting like they grew up with a fucking silver spoon in their mouth, and I'm just astonished by it. Now I know a lot of your parents work hard, and I respect you for that, and I don't want your kids to grow up in poverty. But what I'm saying is, it's translating over to the fucking music, ladies and gentlemen. You understand what I'm saying? These kids sound like a spoiled version of the Rugrats and look like them too. C.K. Kirkland would say it best, who raised you? And that's the question I gotta fucking ask it. Who raised you? This is ridiculous. Like, I'm seeing kids with fucking guys now. And I'm not saying if you in the LBGT community, this is not a shot at y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got friends that's within that squad that I've known for a long time. I don't disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? None of that. Like, and I don't allow that on my channel either. So if you do that, you get blocked. You know what I mean? That we don't do. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, long story short, man, there's a lot of bougie shit going on. Like, dudes wearing purses and shit, and like, I don't know, this real suspect shit that I don't even see that the LBGT community wearing when I see them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just asking the question of who raised you, as TK Kirkland would say, because I'm confused. I am behooved. I am befuddled, beloved. And I'm just trying to figure the fuck out. Because it seems to me somewhere along the line, there's like this, what can I say? There's a word here that I'm searching for in the back of my mind, and I believe it is, starts with an A, ansexual, or some shit like that, or dronness, as once it was called, and a better definition anyway. Adronis, or if you want to say, I don't know, on the cusp of, whatever the fuck, I don't know. It's just, I'm bewildered, beloved. I don't understand it, and I'm trying to center it in and see if this is part of that whole magnet that has made things go sour as well. I think the only way we're going to get beyond this and we're going to be able to tunnel and shift hip hop into a good place. And I don't mean a good place by everybody's doing what Kanye's doing in Christian rap either. I mean, just like, the individuality and the individualism that people once had at one time is now lost almost. And it's almost embarrassing because there are people around the world that emulate hip hop, but they emulate hip hop in a different way. If you go to Rome, if you go to, I don't know, especially in Asia, the ones that do over there, they celebrate hip hop culture, they celebrate in its essence. I'm not here on the nostalgia journey with y'all though. Things also must move forward. And one of the things I want to mention is, as they're moving forward, you have to just add the elements that were there before. See, the elements that were there before, you're not teaching. You're just saying, hey, do this, but you're not showing these motherfuckers. And the more that you're not showing them, the further and the further and further and further. And then soon it'll be their definition of which is defining it. You see what I'm saying? And this is the way media will carry it. This is the way historians will carry it. This is the way many people will carry it and know it here in the United States. Now, I think across the world, I think it's a different definition. I think they almost, in some cases, have more information. I say information, not experience, information. And experience is something totally different for me. So I'll say, and that's a thing too, but I'll get to that in a second. The influence is different for them. It's different, and that's the best way I can explain it. You guys see these birds? It's the seagulls, man. I wish you guys could see it. There's actually one right on top of me right here. I'm trying to get him in. Can you guys see him? That's my favorite animal, birds. I used to have birds. I'm gonna get them again too. But I love birds. And I'm dead serious here. I had a cockatiel and I had two parakeets. You know what I mean? They all live sound with each other. I don't know. I'm a Taurus, so if you don't know, the bull always has a bird usually riding on its back. You know what I mean? Or the ox as well. But anyway, that's off subject. I don't know. I'm tranquil with birds. Long story short, guys, if there's not some type of direction given, and I mean, it has to be taught. It's not something you just throw out there and be like, yo, this is how way you do it. And if you don't do it this way, then you messed up. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of people are directing the message. And first of all, a lot of you dudes that's over, I'm going to say 35, got to learn how to talk. Like, you can still keep the slang in it. You can still keep the streets in it. I get it. But at the same time, grow the fuck up. You know what? That's what I want you to do. When you talking to these kids, I want you to put your at work voice on. Put your at work voice on, your blue collar at work voice on. And that's those shots at nobody. I mean that for a reason, because a motherfucker that's working in white, I'm just going to say this, a white collar worker is not as wary, I don't think, in certain situations as a blue collar worker. I really don't think that. And there's been example after example after example to show that. If you take a blue collar worker and they get into some type of trouble or whatever, the company 9 times out of 10 won't stick behind them, or they won't monitor them, except for the point of exemption to get rid of them. You know what I mean? Which a white collar company may do too. But the white collar at that end of it, because I've been in that world, I know it very well. The white collar spectrum will send out allies, and they will send out allies to protect you. They will send the company lawyer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different avenues that they'll actually take to actually help you. You can believe that, especially depending on if the what's the name is real big or not. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys this boat right behind me that's pulling up. You guys see that? Right there. That's a tour boat they have out here. It's cruising across the water here. But long story short, somewhere or another, what's going to have to go on is somebody's going to have to start giving instructions. If they're not giving instructions, what's going to happen is they're going to get in a lot of trouble. So what I would tell you to do is, and I would tell you very sternly is this. Put your at work voice on when you're talking to the youth. The youth, them, you understand? Don't walk up to them and be like, you know what, real Rasta man, that Allerton Ave shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to hear that. Even if they're from Jamaica, wherever, Trinidad, shout out to Brooklyn, Sumner, what up? But even depending on where they're from or whatever, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have to teach it by experience. You're too hastily trying to throw it at them, and they have enough outlets for information. Sometimes if you just throw hints and hints, they get it right then. So, you don't have to go too far with exposing and expunging on points that really don't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? I do that sometimes myself, but I choose to do it on camera. It's my channel. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, it's bold to say it like that, but that's what they're looking for. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I will say, even though I don't have kids, I will say this. That is one of the things that I learned. I learned that from I won't even say different girls that I've dated before that had kids, but just being around family members, it's a lot of different variables to it. That's definite. And just friends, kids, I mean, all kinds of stuff. You just, even if you're not involved, you see the behavior. And, whether it's good or bad or whatever, you see how the parent deals with it. And it gives you answers to a lot of things, it really does. It really does. So I always take heed of that. Before I'm drinking tea, by the way, before y'all start talking. That motherfucker drinking alcohol. It's fucking tea. Start that fucking rumor. Yo, you ever notice every time he on camera, he got a cup? This motherfucker drunk. You know what I'm saying? This is why my channel's on monetized. I told you guys, I'm a nice guy. I really am. You know what I'm saying? I really am. I'm telling you guys, is something is gotta give. This music is so contagious and so toxic right now. It's like it's unbearable, man. It's really unbearable. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end it off with this. If you guys don't put some effort into telling your kids, the difference between, what Meg the Stallion is saying, and a lot of other girls are saying, and I know a lot of you girls when y'all were young, y'all had Foxy, Trina, you know what I'm saying, Kim, you know what I mean, Nikki for some of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I get it, Nikki is Lil' Kim right now. She just don't know it. But, you know what I'm saying? That's another topic, though. You know what I mean? But, excuse me. It's definition of what they're saying. And guys, you know this as well as I know this. And some of those street stories we shouldn't even have heard because it made us want to emulate them. You understand what I'm saying? And the difference is the guys that were writing about them, a lot of them wasn't even living it. So we was actually living out the story in which they were trying to tell. Isn't that funny? I swear to God's the truth. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, but I just wanted to tell you this. Thank you for all the support. Everybody come to my channel, whatever. I know I speak about it, whatever, but I'm in haste. It's about to get cold in a minute. I want to get out of here. So, guys, make sure that you hit the GoFundMe, the Cash Apps, the PayPal. The links in the description, links down below. I know y'all don't like to hear that from me, but I'm trying to get right. You saw what I went through. I'm telling my story here, and I do it daily. I do my job here, and I report, So I got another one coming up for y'all, too, so don't go away. Come back. All right? I'm talking to you. You, come back. Later.